Hello everyone, thanks for joining me again today. I haven't done anything today, but I can see there's a few selections that could have been taken, but I've been quite busy. So I'm starting with a clean slate, which is lovely. I don't mind starting with a couple $100 in the webinar either, but it's kind of cheating. You know, it kind of is. When I really think about it, I mean, if I jump into the webinar with $500 profit and it wasn't in the webinar, then you haven't all done that, and then I can walk away and say, well, I've just lost 260 and wind up with 240, but nobody else made anything. So, I don't mind starting with a clean slate. It's actually quite good, but if I do see things early and I do jump on them, then I'm not going to take them out again just for the sake of starting with a clean slate, everybody. So. But we should have a good day ahead of us today, and one that could have been picked up just then, I thought, even though we're sort of still a little bit aggressive, if you like, this little thing down here, number 5, Peter Hoff. Above it, you also had the number 1, number 7, and that was really sort of where the confusion was, I'd sort of say, more than anything. But that looked pretty good there. It sort of stands out a little bit at odds in the area of the market that we like to see such decisions being made. I've just clicked on the button to share my screen there, so hopefully you can all hear me and see me now. I'm just going to go and do a quick recap because I actually haven't done so for the day today. Honestly, I've been so flat out. Fairly there, the number 8 was looking pretty good, so that's not a bad selection to take. Norfolkville race 1, there's really nothing there unless you're looking at number 7, a huge Victorian indication there. If you put Victoria in the top line of data, it's going to jump up to become the favourite, of course, so that might have put a couple of people off. Rose Hill race 1, I would have said the number 5, Don't Blink, and the number 8, Azalin, which would have equalled a fairly poor start to the day because both of those races, a couple of selections and no result. Eagle Farm and No Invest, the $1.50 favourite there and no indications. Flemington, we'd have to say Kasani there and probably Street Diamond and Stardom in between them, and that race is, no, actually not Street Diamond, sorry, no home tab indication. 10 and 6 there would have to be taken, really, absolutely have to be taken, and it's looking a little bit lacking in terms of value for the 6. Morfordville, sorry, I just went straight past it, saw all that, nothing doing there for us. So, Lion-Hearted Girl, if anything. Again, if you put Victoria in the top line of data, you're going to have a pretty massive indication there, so that looks pretty good. It's also blowing favourite in that race. Rose Hill race 2, geez, yes, again you've got a couple of indications in this race. You've got the 4 and the 8, and then you've also got the 3 there, so for a field of 7 runners you really need to cover yourself as much as possible, and you would have to take all of those somehow. Eagle Farm, sorry about this, just hide that down the bottom there. As I said, maybe that number 5, again, it's sort of looking pretty messy. You've got the number 1 there and the number 6 as well, so if I just move through the whole race and I ease into that and start to, get the, what I'm looking for again and things, and now I'm on track, and you come into this race and all the other ones, a little bit sort of iffy. This is really iffy. Again, really aggressive if you're going to jump into a race like that. Flemington race 3, $1.60 favourite and a few indications outside of it. Light Express is the best of those, and Diplomatic Force. So 6 and 4, if you're going to do anything in that race, then you would have to cover yourself as best as you can. And in between them, you've also got the number 5, Belfast Boy. So it is really a no invest race. Number 6 is coming second there, so one of the 2 stronger indications come in. Well, the strongest indication in the race. No doubt it's the highest rated runner. There we go, by a country mile. What was that? Albury. What's this here? Number 14. It looks a little bit interesting, doesn't it? It's, again, it's a tiny race, and not what we typically be looking at on a Saturday. But for those hunters out there, not a bad indication on that number 14. All right, let's move on to the next metro, of course, and we'll keep an eye on Morphettville, which isn't looking great at this stage, but I'll put a tick in the number 5 and a tick in the number 8. It is a little bit colourful. Yeah, Light Express was certainly the one there. Very good indication. Sorry, Chris, I just saw your messages coming through the webinar there, so yeah, no doubt you can see everything now, so sorry about that, I didn't see it come up before. I hope you've all been well. Things are looking like they're cooling down a little bit. It's still been quite hot about the place. We hit in Sydney the other day, 45.5 degrees. The hottest day on record for Sydney. Didn't get that hot up this way, but at the moment it's quite cool actually, or reasonably. Overcast. Yesterday was a lovely day. I took my boy up to Wet and Wild. Took Will up. And I have to say I slept well last night because, geez, that takes it out of you, those big theme parks and things, fun parks. But especially Wet and Wild because you're carting giant tubes up, you know, hundreds of flights of stairs all day. And luckily for us, they have a fast track ticket that you can buy once you get inside, on top of your entry ticket, mind you, of course. For an extra $20 each, you get to jump the queue. Money talks, eh? So the first queue that we went in, well, the second queue we went and stood in. The first one we stood in took us 45 minutes to get to where we were going, and we were in one of the first lot to get into the place. And the second ride we went to go on, which was the Constrictor, which is a big closed, big water slide with it. You go down in a huge tube, and we were at the end of the line on that one, and one of the staff, the attendants, came walking down the line, and she got about, I would say maybe 100 people up the queue in front of us, and she said, everybody up to here, you've got an hour and a half wait. And then she came down to the end where we were, and she said, everybody down towards this end, you're going to be waiting to up to 2 hours. so I said to Will, I said, I think we'll go and buy one of those fast track tickets, don't drive up for an hour and a half to the Gold Coast to stand in queues for 6 hours and only get on 4 or 5 rides. So it's certainly busy. Still at the end of the school holidays as well, so it's bound to happen. It was a great day. I got home last night and muscles were aching that I forgot that I owned. Well, this number 5 here is still sort of looking okay, but the each way value's been knocked off, and that's just typical for the small pools that are down there at the moment in South Australia. Number 8, Star Xena, also looks okay. Put Victoria in the top line of data, and things aren't going to change too much, except it brings up the number 2 down the bottom there. It's a bit sort of scrappy. I think that we'll leave it alone and just wait for much stronger opportunities to come our way, or clearer. There's not really a lack of strength there. There's a lack of clarity and value to be able to take all the things that look like possible selections for us. All makes sense, I'm sure. Okay, what's coming up next? Gold Coast, which will be just back to the normal country type meeting up there. Next one for us of any interest will be Rose Hill Race 3. A couple of small pools today and a couple of really red hot favourites as well. What have they been doing throughout the day today? We'll see, that's the early favourite they pushed out there, but still got up. The number 6 that they pushed up to favouritism, which then threw the number 1 out, it did nothing. Okay, there's something going on there at Morphettville. Not sure. Horse being betted by the look of it, and led back in now. So.
The 2's the leg scratching.
Number 2 was scratch laked.
Started climbing up. Ready now. Finally set. Race number 3 lets them go, and Swinging Soldier missed the start. And first away down on the inside, Swipe Line being challenged early. Moving up on the outside is Never Sail and Savare coming over from the Broken Shore. Behind those was Star of Xena, second last. Here's Schwazil, and at the rear and out wide is Swinging Soldier. They come down the side of the track now. At the 900 metre mark, I believe it's Never Sail, a half on Savare. In third spot was Swipe Line, and out wide now Swinging Soldier goes to fourth. Followed by the Broken Shore, then came Schwazil, and last is Star of Xena. They come up towards the 500 metre mark, and the leader Never Sail, the neck in front of Savare. In third spot, Swinging Soldier. Schwazil's coming out to make it her run. She's gone around the Broken Shore. Swipe Line sweating on a run on the rails. There's no clear running. And Star of Xena's last. Top of the straight, 400 metres to go. Never Sail still leads Savare about a neck. 3 out on the track, Swinging Soldier. Now Schwazil comes on. There's no clear running for Swipe Line. It got nastily checked. And Star of Xena's running on down the outside. Swinging Soldier goes to Never Sail. Here comes Star of Xena. Star of Xena and Jamie Carr have loomed up and taken the lead. And Star of Xena. Star of Xena came on and scored by 3/4 to Never Sail. Third in Swinging Soldier. Fourth was Schwazil. No luck for the favourite Swipe Line in the Broken Shore and Savare.
Star of Xena, there was money for it on track, 10 into $6, and a winner for Jamie Carr. 460 and 170, Never Sail at 190, Swinging Soldier at $1.60. 856, race 3 from Morphettville. Gold Coast about to join us, their first event over the 2,200 metres, and the toppy, Magnum, Patnack and John Thompson at 190, 460 about Thresher, and 490 for number 3, Silver Silver, 760 for Xena Woman, best of the others. Looking further ahead to the next event from Rose Hill, and we'll have a look at that market as they still get to the gates there at the Gold Coast. She's clean for Sean Guymer, the long-odds-on favourite here. The Ingham colours at 150, Princess Labour at $6, Sastruga at $7.80, and Project Compassion is at $9.80. That event, the fillies and mares over the 1,300 in 4 minutes. She's clean all the rage, and it is the on-top pick from Ron Duffy. He's gone 1, 2, 3 and 6. Race number 3. The well-named She's Clean, running the long odds-on favourite for Chris Waller and Sean Guymer, a mare by Reduced Choice out of the very good producing there at Feather Duster. That event due in 4 minutes. Over the Gold Coast, they're still getting around to the start here. 2,200 the journey of the first, and Magnum running favourite, coming off a second at Doomben back on the 28th of November. So first up from a letter, Son of Flying Spur, 210, 320 for Thresher. Son of Starcraft on the second line of betting, and Sell the Silver at $5.30. It's grey by Canadian Silver. with Boacco taking the 3 kilos off. So already over a minute behind start time, and they haven't commenced the loading process as yet. The 2200 metre race ahead of them, and Rose Hill, they are getting around to the gates there for race number 3 on the card. So the starting signal has been given here at the Gold Coast. Now, because of the fact that they are running significantly late now, and they will do by the time they jump, that first at the Gold Coast will be shown on Sky Racing 2. Our priority will obviously be with Rose Hill, where the third event is over the 1300 metres, and it won't be too long before they start to link in here. The favourite and the hot pot is She's Clean. It's at 160. It's a point better on track, $1.80 out to 260. Of the others, Princess Layla, 4 out to 440. Sastruga solid at 5. Specking for Segura, 20 money to 19. Project Compassion solid at 7, and G Me Up, $11 into $10. Well, that is the way the market shapes up here. She's Clean. So the 2 runs this preparation. A winner here first up at Rose Hill, then went to Warwick Farm. Didn't have a lot of luck at Warwick Farm a fortnight ago, to nearby Reduced Choice, looking for her 5th win at start number 12. Now take note, the first of the Gold Coast is off and running on Sky Racing 2. She's Clean, an easy favourite on track from 180 out to 260. Yeah, very good young apprentice Sean Guymer taking the 3 kilos off. Princess Layla, 4 out to 440. And Sastruga was just a darling runner. Put a string of wins together before, found to be lame after an event at Warwick Farm a month ago. 4 weeks off the scene. Expected to improve. And Project Compassion is the other one, a last up winner here at this track, and thereby Dubai destination. It's third at Rose Hill, brought to us by the Hyundai iLoad. It's One Tough Mother. Just repeating the late mail numbers from Ron Duffus here are 1, 2, 3 and 6. She's Clean running at Easing, but clear-cut favourite over Princess Layla number 2, and 7:30 about 3, and that is Sastruga, and thereby Elusive Quality. Market mover is Sastruga. It's $5 and solid on track, well found through tab.com.au. It is the market mover for race 3 as we head trackside. Here is Mark Sheen. All right, so Mark not quite ready for us. She's Clean. Sean Guymer in the saddle at $1.90. The favourite out to 270 on track. Princess Layla, 4 out to 440. Sastruga, the tab.com.au market mover is at 5. Money late for Project Compassion, $8.50 into $7. And there it's arm's length going in, 10 out to $26. We head to Mark Sheen for race 3.
And there's now evens on the toe. Princess Layla, $4 to 440. Sastruga, 6 into 5. Project Compassion, $8.50 to 7. So, bit of money for Sastruga. Now only 3 to move in. G Me Up's away, and so too is Project Compassion. So it shouldn't be too long before we get a start with only 1 to move up now, Project Compassion. This is the Michael Hensel Science Handicap. And Project Compassion just circling around at the back of the stalls. So they're about to call her up now. This race is set aside for fillies and mares. And Project Compassion goes up into the gates. Ready to jump. And then they go, they're off and racing, and Princess Layla came out fast on the outside. G Me Up was one of the best into stride as well. So the speed's coming across from out wide. Project Compassion rushing up into third as G Me Up spin away with a lead of about 2 or 3 lengths now, and Princess Layla. Then Shagir on the inside from Project Compassion. Sastruga followed by She's Clean, and arm's length goes out the back last of all. Negotiating the first bend, and the leader is G Me Up, led by a length and a quarter. Princess Layla striding up to second, Shagir third. Then the Project Compassion getting into a fourth spot at the moment, one off the rail on the outside of Sastruga. She Clean, the favourite, back second last, and arm's length at the rear of the field. 600 out, and G Me Up the leader from Princess Layla. It takes the breeze in second spot. Sagira third from Project Compassion. Bettortrader over on the inside. Guyman's about to pull. She's clean to the outside to start its run. And arm's length at the tail of the field. Coming into the straight. The leader is Jimmy up from Princess Layla, striding up on the outside about a length away. Then Sagira followed by Project Compassion. She's clean is winding up down the centre. Just looks to hang in a little bit here. Jimmy up in front. Princess Layla, she's clean and starting to come after it. Princess Layla's hit the front, but she's clean, bounded up on the outside. And with a great turn of foot, she's clean beat Princess Layla. Third between arm's length and Jimmy up. And then came Sagira, Bettortrader, and last in was Project Compassion. Good win there. Just after they turned for home, it looked like she might have given away a bit too much start, but she really knuckled down and came with a great turn of foot. She does tend to want to hang in a little bit, but she was still able to sprint over the top of Princess Layla, who had sat outside the lead and had taken that break in the early part of the straight and looked like she'd take some running down. But she's clean, gobbled it up to win and beat Princess Layla, and we've got a photo for third. So she's clean was 180 out to 270 into 260 and pays $2.20 and 150 on the tote. For number one, she's clean, beating number two, Princess Layla. Now arm's length has got third, number 10, and number 9, Jimmy up in fourth spot. So it's 1, 2, 10 and 9.
A very nice ride there by the apprentice Sean Guyman. That there wanted to hang in, but he managed to straighten her up. She's made up considerable ground and gone past them, defying a betting drift on track. She's clean in the Ingham colours, 220 and 150. Princess Layla at 240 and arm's length. No third ditty. 1, 2 and 10 on race 3 at Rose Hill. Camperdown, third race coming up, just over 2 minutes away. Monty Boy, 550 and favourite over Irish Loot at 670. Our legend also at that quote. Now, while that event at Rose Hill was being run and won, so too was the first at the Gold Coast, and we'll bring you a replay as they come to the home corner.
Silver dashed away lane 2. Running on Xena Woman. Magnum down the outside. Treasure battles away and dropping out Rennie Ray. Silver has a good lead. Down beyond the 200 metre marker. It's Silver leading away lane 2. Magnum, the favourite, is slowly but surely bridging the margin, but Silver has pinched it, and Silver takes it out. Silver scored by a length and a half. Defeating Magnum, third Xena Woman. Treasure fourth, and a break back to Rennie Ray at the tails.
And that was a replay of the first of the Gold Coast. The winner Silver, $4.70 and $2 over Magnum at 120. Xena Woman, no third divvy, 3, 1, 4 and 2. Now Camperdown, race number 3 over the 1,400 metres. 480 about 6, our legend favourite. 580 for Monty Boy, just easing out a touch. Irish Loot at 770 and 970 about 13. One
just a quick message that came through there on Skype. What do you think about the number 3 at Rose Hill? Well, with an odds-on favourite and a second favourite in the race being bagged, and everything in that race having colour, it is just the biggest knowing best I've seen for the day today, pretty much. Yeah, massive knowing best, that race. It's just, as I've spoken about a lot, there's just a lot of movement in that race outside of that favourite. So they're just coming for the rest of the field, basically. But yeah, the number 1 won it with a leg in the air. Just because there's okay, you didn't do it, but at the same time, but it was the only one showing 3 tabs. So if you've got 5 runners in the race with home tab indications and you've got 1 runner with movement across all 3, you think that you should be taking the one that's just with all 3? Chris, every webinar that I go through, can I just ask you, what is the process of analysis that I go through to make decisions? Just, very, very simply, it's just one line. What do I do in every race that I go through? I mean, really what you're doing is you're saying that there's like 10 selections in the race, but you're going to take one because it's got some movement across all 3 TODs, which is completely not, almost the opposite, really, of what we do. You're confused? Well, every single webinar that I do, hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of webinars, 10 minutes down, home TAB, is there an indication with $300 or more, yes or no? Don't I do that in every webinar? Right, okay, the end. Because I can't cope with the abuse today, but I'll tell them next week, I think. I'll leave the software running. I'm just going to close it. It's not working. It's not working. So then, with that same those same comments in mind, that would then mean that I wouldn't worry about the 12 and worry about the 7 or any of these other indications and just take the 15 there. It's completely wrong. Okay, perfect timing here for Flemington. I had to grab myself a cool drink. Oh, it's a great looking market, isn't it? There's still the three that I've got ticked. They're the ones that I've still got the interest in. And enough there to take them all each way and all that sort of thing. Oof. I have so many little bits of stuff happening down there, but just nowhere near enough for us. But, just mindful of it, that's all. Because it can always come up with that strong home tote, and it's just going to change things a little bit. Because look, the indication that I don't like is the number 15. I love the value that's on offer and all those sorts of things. It's easy to like, but it's got that longer run-on of indications that I don't really like too much. The early move there on the number 1, 25 minutes, is sort of a little bit okay as well. So look, we'll just keep an eye on it. But at this stage, yeah, like I say, 15, and there's that number 16 down the bottom. I'll tell you what, that's my number 1 selection there. So before I even do anything with this race, I'm taking those 3 selections. So that's going to be me. Yeah, I got excited then. Well, I do get excited about indications like that.
Tag favourite $5.10, Reading at $5.50, Emperor Max $7 for Either World, and grade is at $8.90. But on course, Emperor Max at 5, the favourite. Reading a touch to high of 7 back into 6.50 as the unexpected lined up into the gates. 9 down to 7.50 on course for grade. Nicholas Hall, just his second racetrack outing. Now Either World moved up into the gates. Blinkers went on a couple of starts ago, an impressive Werribee win before his Sydney sojourn. Now listen, the lone filly of the field goes into her place. She's going to be ridden back today from that stall. Pillar of Creation with the prominent nose roll on for the first time today, and an effort to get him to hold his head in the correct position.
The other way to go would be to tick all of those up there.
Tails.
Even Crookhaven you could throw in there if you wanted
To an
to.
awkward barrier draw picking at the 1400.
For a Dutch bet. Oh, God, look at grade late. I mean, look, it is getting hammered. There's no doubt about it. Even the number 5, Champagne Tails. For me, this is an extremely dangerous race.
Celebrating his 31st birthday today. Brings Crookhaven.
Extremely dangerous race.
Reading is being betted at the start. Okay, just going to call there. Reading are being betted at the barriers.
A much better Dutch betting opportunity, but down the bottom of the field, down here you've got the 16, we've got the number 5, Champagne Tails, we've got the number 12, General Groove, then at the top of the number 15 and things. Yeah, look, that's how I'm going to go. I'm
So Reading is the only one out of line now.
really super keen on these outsider type sort of indications down there. Look, the number 7, it's the one that's going to upset me. Look, there's 4 runners I could take there. I'm not going to take 4 runners. That's a hard mistake. This is a very, very, very dangerous race. And off they go. You can't even be tempted to half mistake. There you go. Just, yeah, very, very dangerous. One of those is going to come in. I know that. See, I'll take races. I'll take 4 runners. I'll do that. What are you going to do? You're going to outlay on 4 runners. If none of them come in, you're down 4 bets. Now, I don't know how many people that are following have got, that to, just sort of suck up and say, oh, that's fine, I just had 4 losses, don't worry about it, because it is 4 losses. And so, I've always got that to consider. It does make me nervous in races like that. There is the 16. My number 1 selection down there would be the 16, and then working up in market order, number 5, then the number 12, believe it or not, was a little bit further down, number 7, and in that sort of an order there like that. So anyway,
back behind those horses then.
Very
General
difficult.
Groove, Houseman under the whip. Reading is the widest runner, unleashing his run, and Gray was out very deep, and he's still at the tail of the field. The unexpected race up, and
Grade's gone. He's last.
Righteous Ruler coming on down the outside. Horses here the inside of boxing on
the horses everywhere. Everywhere.
Sweepers now. Reading, Houseman, and General Groove. These are the
General
three races
Groove,
on the
geez.
outside. General Group hits the lead from Redinger, going with him. Redinger diving in General Group. Redinger, he's got there today. He's beaten General Group by a short half inch. Alpha third, Servianto got on the inside to get fourth. They were followed by Lingo, Righteous Ruler, and then part of the unexpected, Eye of the World and Champagne Tales.
Now that would have cost us $240, right? Would have needed $4.80 just to cover the outlay. And number 12's come in at $5.20. So yeah, look, it was one of the stronger ones, 16 and 12. Then the 5 jumped up, the 7 was in there. It's not black and white, of course not. It's quite colourful actually, but you know, it's not black and white. There were a few in that. Like I said about that number 15, that long run on of indications. Geez, they very rarely do anything. You know, it came last. Did it come last or second last? Anyway, they often do that, but very tough. Come back to fight another day. Oh, I don't mind if we only get, you know, 2 in the next hour. That's what I make money. It's really all I do this for, is to make a few dollars myself now. Oswald, oh. Jeez, don't forget that, because that could sort of change, could drift out a little bit. But yeah, don't forget that. Oswald. Morfettville will be a no invest by the look of it. So, of course, if we have a look at that, I'll put you on mute for 1 second. I'm just going to send somebody a message. Sorry about this. Cheers. Yeah, a couple of little interesting late moves on the 11 and the 9. Oh, sorry, Mal, I didn't actually see you're in the webinar. But speaking of developers, he's just come online. I'm going to be chatting to him a bit later. But things are still going along. You know, it's just, mate. Tell you what, these things have been dead the last couple of months. Dead, dead, dead. Dead. We've never had food throwers, thankfully. Touch wood. He's not about to start now. Oliver's, they're both pretty good. Wild couple of kids. Never thrown food. They make a god-awful mess, though. And I try not to have a laptop near them at dinner time either. So Morford Bill, like I say, those little hits down the bottom there, they were pretty good. Which,
Doc Hennessy, he's
keep an eye on those in
on the
play if
turn,
you're looking at it,
Chef's
guys.
passed by Distillation, straightening, 300 metres to go. Doc Hennessy joined and headed by Distillation. Here comes Baby Boy and Beat Boy. They're running on together from Antonica. Distillation leads. Baby Boy's coming after Distillation.
Beat Boy won't be up there, so don't worry about him.
50. Distillation 2 in front of Baby Boy. Doc Hennessy's holding third presently, but it's going to be Distillation. Distillation's much too good for these. Won by 3 lengths. Second in was Baby Boy, and third over was Doc Hennessy. Followed in fourth by Stack Hannavite. Little Adam made some late ground. With him was above average and Beat Boy from Stack Hannavite.
Oh, Canamble. Well, at Canamble, the first thing that jumped out to me there was the number 10, but, you know, like, that's rubbish, of course. And the number 4, so 4 and 10 there for me. Canamble, if I had, you know, my rubber arm twisted at my back, then they would be the 2 selections I'd be looking at. Let's just see what my eyes like, hey? Change over to racing 2. Kicking up the dirt, jeez.
It's Marble Boy.
Oh.
Will it be David Duover's getting clear now? An Underwriter is coming down. That's down with a good run. Underwriter Duover and Marble Boy boxing back on the inside. Duover takes the lead now, and Duover's a bit too good for them. Duover went home to beat Marble Boy. Underwriter and Nickaway third. Fourth, Turkey high, then Starvitsky. Bowls
Oh, well, it came second. That purple indication's nice. That's beautiful. Hey, you know, look, you got to look at it in terms of the rise and the flow of betting. I mean, that's huge. You know, it's gone from $9 up to $279. These pools are absolutely tiny, tiny, tiny. So, you know, any kind of anomaly anywhere is what I'm looking at. And if you look at the favourite at the same time, which was always a clear-cut favourite, if you like, all the way through betting, it was the opening favourite. It was closed as the favourite and didn't budge all the way through. And that's got $213 more placed on it at the same time. It's like a few hundred% more money. So that's what tickles my fancy. Not only when I see good colour, but when I see that there's been a good jump in the money as well. I mean, that's the ultimate in indications. So yeah, that was lovely. But you know, like I say, you don't need to sort of push things around too much on a. And here you'd be looking at a couple of indications, 6 runners in the race and Gold Coast with no money in the pools, $14,000 in Victoria. It's lunch money today, so we'll keep going. But yeah, late, you know, that 3B2 looks all right. You know, Carl the Great obviously looks okay as well, but you know, there's no value there. And a pretty tough looking favourite for a field of 6. Trentham. We don't do it, but you know, lots of things are going to stand out at Trentham. There's already about 5 indications I'd be looking at there, so definitely a no-go. Never Is, and off to Rose Hill. So we've got Wine and Dine, nice healthy pool sizes. SR for Sydney Racing, so I just clicked on that and brought open the website in front of me. Silly bugger of a thing. Anybody still been using the auto? Look at that, would have made 106% at Flemington Race 1. No invest at Morfettville. Would have made 125% or thereabouts at Rose Hill Race 1. So there's 2 races and 2 results with 120% or so. Would have only taken the favourite but a no invest because it's a long odds on race. Would have had a loss there at Flemington Race 2. So that's 2 up and 1 down, if you like. No invest at Morfettville there. No invest at Rose Hill. And a loss there at Eagle Farm. So 2 up and 2 down, and it would be sitting just in profit at this stage. I'd like to go through and have a bit of a look. Would have picked that up at Morfettville, but it's a no invest for some reason. Why is it no invest? Because of the runners. Well, I wouldn't normally have that on for BetLogic, so that would have been a pick up there. Rose Hill, same thing. I think it's probably only the runners that stopped that, which would have equaled a loss. Would have picked that up at Eagle Farm, and again it's only the runners there, so that's just a setting issue. Missed out on Flemington there, and that's 16 runners in the race, which I do have on. You know, up to 14 runners usually. Would have picked up that at Morfettville. And here we are at Rose Hill, which has just jumped. Now, how the hell did I miss that? Oh, for goodness sakes. It's on the wrong bloody channel. I'm looking at Sky. I must have changed up instead of changed down, and I'm looking at TVN race day, no, sorry, Sky News. I don't know how I did that, but I'm very sorry about that. I've missed a race. And as Kerry said, it looks a little bit dangerous there. We've got the number 8, we've got number 4, we've got number 3, number 12, and up to the number 1. Now, number 12 obviously looks fantastic. Absolutely looks beautiful there. If you have to turn the grey off, you can see how strong that really is. Still, to be a bit on the safe side, I'd be taking probably the number 1 with it if I was looking at that race with no grey.
And in peril on the outside, the narrow leader here from Denora. Went about a leg clear now in peril. Diamond Drills out into the clear, followed by Soapy Star and Sandpipers. Lock Levens running on with Laser Flash, and wider out is Campagna. Still in peril in front with 100 to go. About 5 or 6 coming at it. Campagna.
Look at Campagna. Whoa, gee whiz.
And Campagna out wide has got to do it. Campagna being peril. Laser Flash might have got...
Good little Dutch race. Good little Dutch race. And geez, these little outsiders, these grey indications, you can't say I'm just going to take that number 12 on its own because it's not the only indication in the race. As pretty as it looks, these are the sorts of things that excite me, and with a bit of a longer look, perhaps, take 3 runners in the race, the 8, the 4 and the 12, and ignore the 25-minute indication on the 3, which came second. Right? So, that was a bit of a toughie, that race. It really was. You could Dutch that race pretty soundly, and you might be looking at taking a few things outside of that favourite up the top there and push F3, and the profit's too low. So, only looking at about 40-50% profit there. And of course, if you were to be more aggressive again and say, well, look, and normally that long run on of indications isn't anything, does anything for us, and it's been crunched in to become almost the new favourite towards the end there, and so that long run on of indications would say no, and that's going to leave you with at least another 5 runners in the race, and then Dutch that, and then you're looking at your 100%. That's a little bit more attractive there, but certainly from an indications point of view in that outside of market, you have to draw your cursor and go like this and say, okay, look, here's your favourite market up here. Yep, I can see those. That's easy. And then I can see that really number one is sort of a bit iffy because it's a bit of an earlier indication. They're not huge pools and things. And then in that outside of market, you can see where the figures have been much smaller all the way, earlier on in the betting and things. All of these need to be given some consideration, and then you can say, all right, look, I think what I'll do is I'll remove, the 25-minute indication on number 3. It's not big enough of a market to worry about looking at those really early indications. So you can put a line through all of that at 25 minutes and say that, it's really this lot down here that we're after. So if I just erase all of that and say, from 10 minutes down, which has always been that landmark time for us, then in amongst that, where I can circle all of that movement, this stuff down here on Denora was too late, so we wouldn't have seen it. That on Campania needs to definitely be taken, so we'd have to put a tick in that. We'd definitely have to take the 4, and we would definitely have to take the 12, and that's pretty much how you can pull that market apart and put it back together again. Bottom of the screen up, 10-minute down, home tab indications for $300 or more, yes, 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 and then no, 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 until you get to the top 2 favourites. One that takes a little bit of thinking, and then also, you're lacking a little bit each way. You're not going to cover your outlay with the place on the number 12. And number 12, yes, admittedly, did look like the one that should have, jumped up out of there. But I'm always looking for this. Let's say, yes, look, I'm going to take this, but I can't take that without taking these two, and then I can't take these two down here without taking this number 12 for a bit of insurance as well. Thanks, Trish. You can ring me next time if you want. It'll flash through the speakers and come up in front of me. But yeah, look, I mean, that took a bit to sort of work out, and you've got to be pretty on the ball to make those sorts of decisions in a race like that. The first look was the first decision was the right one, and that is that it did look like a messy market. Kerry. Classic. See, it's done it again. No, I'm flying blind. I've got no TV. I'm sorry. I've got no TV, no All-Star, so I'm going to have to try and hook it up through geez, that's a real pain in the backside, I'll tell you. It's quite irritating. Black Booker and everything. Bugger.
And she's a hot shot working through the field. Goal Shears led at the 200 metres mark from Miss Dorian. She's a hot shot is getting in the clear, starting to come. Goal Shears the leader. She's a hot shot and Boys on Tour. Goal Shears still the leader from She's a Hot Shot, Boys on Tour, and Goal Shears. Goal Shears beat She's a Hot Shot, Boys on Tours. Mr. Orient has run fourth. Then comes Lady Agula, Santa Delago, Cash in Style. Further back behind those came Good Hunting. And then Mr. Slicker last time in the race was Oswald.
Well, I'm glad I missed it. No, Kerry, I've got, we've got, well, it says there's interference of some sort. We've got a lot of cloud and storms brewing up over us at the moment. Oswald came last, eh? Still a great indication. Second best background of the race in Victoria. It's a huge indication. Not that the Victorian pools are big enough to warrant looking at them really, but in terms of anomalies, that was certainly a huge one. You see that Miss Marple or whatever it was the race before was quite a similar indication, but it was in Queensland, not for New South Wales. You see that sort of money getting thrown about now and then. It's a little bit unorthodox sometimes because people are saying there's no home shabby indication and things, but they can still be huge anomalies and they can still be okay decisions to make. It just depends on yourself and how you're travelling, doing the stuff that we really should be doing. That's really what it comes down to. Kembla Grange is a no invest for us today, obviously. I've got my weekday setting in there, so for most of you can just go and click on load settings from and select Saturday, of course. I just noticed a couple of things in Bet Logic there that I would need to change if I was running a typical Saturday setting. So that result before wasn't completely spot on, but just a quick flick through really. Okay, Kembla Grange, no invest, and Flemington will be the next one for us. that dash going. Some more socks. Langridge Street. Yes. Captura. Rebel Truce. Bigelow. Adamon. A few things in this race that I've made a couple of dollars on over the last couple of years. Trying to get this thing.
The Goldstones East from 350 to 480. Yep.
There we go. Happens to us now and then, but yeah, well, I've got it on my browser down here just in case.
Declared Eagle Farm the fourth on 9, 5, 1 and 7 correct. She can't, $4.40. St. Alaper new at $6.50. 12 Chicanti, $7.20. At Kimber Grange, it's 5.371. 5 Costa Zip, 5.51.90. Brendan Ward, 3 above all 1.
Who's been a big handful here. He's refused to go around to the start. So they've now decided to go in the sort of the reverse direction to try and get into Canada there.
I'll leave the browser open down the bottom just in case I lose this again, but anyway, it's on now.
Now the Belmondo is going to come out, I would suggest. Just would not go to the start. He was spinning around like a top. I guess he was watching him.
Come on, show us the money.
Anyway, he's a bad boy. Hello, broadcast. 329. Okay, thank you. Now Belmondo's out. Plays that number 4. Belmondo stretching at 329. Who refused to go around to the start. Belmondo taken up by the stewards at 329. Infinite Energy is going to be the sub for your quantity and your doubles. Be hard to beat. That barrier one is just the interesting thing for him. They did sweep the 3 place getters, didn't they, in the previous race? It was a very fast run race by the same Kagan. Set it up for something to come from where they did. But if we see a similar run race, then they might end up swooping again. Now they're moving in. Infinite Energy comes up into the
That's just a scratching down there. That's
$4 for Goldstone, who's a drifter on track.
the refund.
So now Goldstone coming in. He's out
Number 10, obviously.
And the second pick at $4.
Well, it's going to be my first one for the day.
And the 7 at $10. Girasun's at almost a...
Just waiting for something to pop up in the home total on Murdoch's Joy there.
Comes up in a line. Now Carew is getting set. Rebel Truce coming up into the line. He had a
More
victory in comfortable style at Correct.
More would be nice too.
6 or 7 of them to move in for this quantity first leggers. Vanasco moved along. Captura comes into the gates now with big
Langridge Street's a little bit of a, there's just no money in it, of course, but Murdoch's Joy for me. So 2 runners I'm on there, number 14 and number 10.
Now moving into the stalls is in your socks. 230 for the favourite.
Langridge Street, geez, it's jumped out of the ground before and
Now Langridge Street coming up into the
come home with all sorts of silly odds, but we can't think like that. It's either got indications or it doesn't. It does have a, oh God, I was waiting for it. So I can't not take that, see. Sorry. So there you go. I'm on 3 runners here, and one of them is on the shorter side. That's number 10, Rebel Truce, up the top there. So yeah, I want Bigelow as well's had a hit late. This is going to be a tough day. It is. It's just one of those days. Too many indications, and you've got to go too wide. And I could honestly take the number 1 now as well and be on 4 runners in that race. Very tough. Too subjective, a few different ways. Not really subjective as such, but dependent on, which is subjective, based on the individual and the individual's approach and how they feel at the time and all that sort of stuff. But there's 4 selections in that race for us, okay? That's the 10, 1, 14 and 9. So.
Stablemate of the first race winner, Mistasio, who was pretty impressive in taking out the 2-year-old. Garrison moved in. Field is nearly ready. Belmondo taken out, refusing to go to the start, the outsider. Infinite Energy drawn barrier 1. Third favourite here.
Go away, Bigelow. Unless you've all taken it as well. You're also on 4 selections in that race. Top's looking a bit tough. I mean, look at that for a Flemington race, would you? But I don't know about this race. It seems a bit strange. There's a lot of sort of names in here and things that sort of ring a fair few bells, and there could be a few races down happening in Victoria at the moment. There's a lot of you that know more about racing than I know on that side of things. If there's sort of preparation races happening at the moment in for the upcoming autumn carnival and trip up to Sydney and all that sort of jazz. Don't know.
And Devils Sports lead 3/4 Senor Socks. It's a truly run race. Infinite Energy a length and a half away with Goldstone.
Senor Socks, a few of them there.
Then came Rebel Truce and Blue Ribbon. Garrison and Carew pull out to make runs as they cornered into the straight. And Gale tries to get onto the back of Carew. So Senor Socks, Devils Sports, corner from Infinite Energy in behind them, looking for the way clear. Goldstone, Langridge Street, a wider out, putting in runs, and then Captura, Rebel Truce. Blue Ribbon heads the rest, and then came Garrison and Gale out wide. Goldstone race to the lead inside the 200. Langridge Street is going with him.
Come on! Come on!
Energy gets up on the inside to challenge now. Langridge
Come on!
Goldstone the middle, Energy. Langridge
Go! Yes!
Half a length to Goldstone.
Oh, $63! $63! Yeah, seriously, to the haters out there, you know where to bite me, okay? You know where to bite me.
Devils Force, Senor Socks, Vanasco, Rebel Truce finishing towards the end of the well over in Langridge Street.
And that's it. I'm going now. I'll see you later. Adios, amigos. It's a rough result. Mate, we're all over it, buddy. We were all over it.
Open betting race, a flashy cap, 5, 10 and favourite.
No, don't tell me you didn't pull the trigger on it. Yeah. No, I won't do that. Won't pull the trigger on that one.
Morfordville coming up also. The 5th is due in 4 minutes, and that is the first leg of the trotty.
$1,000. See you later. I'm going. Sorry, price of the webinars just went up to $60 a day. Tony, they were all like that, eh? Anyway.
Seven-year-old gelding, he's won 6 from 48.
Yeah. Oh, is there anything else coming up that could even remotely compare to that race? We'll keep an eye on Rose Hill Race 5. Have you heard here? Langridge Street. Oh, what language you speaking, Mr. Rowan? You speaking my language. You're speaking my language. Very good. Oh, time for lots of beer after that. Lots of beer. Mark, what are you doing? Oh, that's enough for me today. That it is enough. That's the language of money. Very good. Chotti, chotti, chotti. You like a language of money. It's very nice. That is what Bettortrader is all about, everybody. You need to be patient and you need to wait. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you will know the language of losing. You must wait. You wait. Now I go to meditate. You wait. I waited. I did not miss. I wait. I wait and I stand. That is all. Should I go light some incense and meditate now? Doop-a-doop-doo, doop-a-doop-a-doo. Langridge Street. Is that what you mean by having a hernia? It's just kind of like trying to stop myself from chuckling. I mean, seriously, that is, I mean, that's classic Bettortrader style. Like, regardless of whether it's mine or you think I'm having a blow on the trumpet or whatever, I don't care. Like, that's what it's all about. That's what separates this from anything else. And it's not even really the software, because you could give the software to 200 different people and they'd use it in 200 different ways. So yeah, okay. Anyway, that's my little belly chuckle. Yeah, that's just. Whew. You only got $70 on Betfair, Trish. They must have been keeping it sort of, you know, must have had a little bit of an eye on it on Betfair, someone somewhere, because yeah, $70 on the totes. You backed it sort of, well, you know, getting right on close to the jump as well. Obviously, the market, Betfair market, starts to reflect the totes anyway to a degree. So I know that much. But geez, you know, $70. I mean, I often see those out at $400 and stuff on Betfair. You know, I mean, especially in running too. Like if in running it was coming last, you know, that's, you know, I would have smashed it again. I would have hit it again. It would have been paying. You know, I'd almost guarantee you would have been paying $200 at one stage for sure. I wasn't watching it actually. I was just there. So, Morphettville just jumped. In no real hurry to sort of jump into anything else, especially, you know, not an ideal market. But indications-wise, there may be, you know, if you caught that Rock and Devil kind of late, which I don't think so. Storm Brewing down the bottoms and okay. St. Ives is kind of okay late on Lucky Sunday. Fair bit of movement in the top half of there, a bit patchy and things. If you put Victoria in the top line of data, it's not going to really make too much of a difference. Well, it kind of does. I mean, you know, you could say maybe Lucky Sunday is the only Victorian indication you would have seen then, and, you know, then you would have been feeling, well, I would have been feeling a bit nervous and gone hunting somewhere else for a bit of insurance and things. Mark Nicholas has left the building, gone to punch the fridge or something, I think. Missing that would have been extremely painful. You know, you can't miss. You can't miss. You have to be ready to pull that trigger. It doesn't take long. Bang, bang. Look at that. I can get on that in you know, a matter of just a couple of seconds. The Morphettville's closed, I'll show you. I mean, that's not going to take long, is it? Just, you know, like it can be difficult, no doubt, for you guys in the webinar as well, watching the webinar, trying to bounce back and all those sorts of things. Really great to have a couple of screens, you know, 2 screens on your desk, one with the webinar running on it, the other one with Bettortrader running on it and things. Yeah. That's a real shame to see anybody miss that, especially following the webinar live as well. You know, that sucks. For me as well, you know, I like to see everybody happy, and it's, you know, it is disappointing. Not saying I'm disappointed in the person. I'm saying I'm just generally just disappointed that he missed that. That's a real shame. Not sure why that would be, Kerry. I'm connected to a pretty good internet connection and I don't have any dropouts or anything, so just keep an eye on it and let me know if it sort of, you know, if it becomes an issue that you see often. I mean, have a look here at Rose Hill Race 5, for instance, and tell me where you've got a figure that's different, if you've got any different figures there. Tell me where you've got a different figure and what the figure is that you've got. And then if the figure that you've got is the same as what everyone else has got and mine is the one that's out, then I know that I've got an issue somewhere, somehow. A werewolf. Sorry. I've got a pretty corny sense of humour sometimes. The wolf is very aware. Number 7. Looking pretty good here at Rosehill. Oh, he's going offline and everything. Marseille Roulette. Okay. And have you got the same figure at 25 minutes, 237? Okay, so number 10 there. Sorry, number 7. Number 7. That is. Hang on. So number 7, that's a definite. They're on number 7. Number 14, Sweet Kiss. Should we? Shouldn't we? Should we? Shouldn't we? Number 5, Harry Hotspur. Still loading. Turn it up so I can hear what's going on.
Which was shown in the book. So red cap on 13.
Werewolf.
So
$300 indication.
And gets the last of them. Set down for the England Classic.
Yeah. Nah, just the one will do. Just the number 7.
Now they're ready. They're off. And coming out fast with a Sweet Kiss from the inside.
Yeah, well, that was the other one I was thinking about, but no, just stick with the number 7.
That's it. Yeah. It'll lead from Harry Hotspur. Direct Charges driving through
Number
the
7.
Now to go to second. Followed by Canny Zing and then Sweet Kiss, followed by Harry Hotspur. Then meticulously out wide on the outside. A lad about town. The favourite for words are about midfield. Further back behind them, Snappy Diamond, then a Werewolf Devil in a Dress, followed by Racing for Diamonds, Little Miss Chelsea, and Standard Bearer went back to last. As Marseille Roulette in front as they run to the 650. Led by length on Direct Charge in second spot, so he's up a lot closer today. Sweet Kiss is third, followed by Canny Zing, Harry Hotspur meticulously wide out wide. It's had a tough run. It's on the outside, a lad about town, Devil in a Dress getting a run through in the centre. And for words of looking to shift to the outside and run on, but the leader is Marseille Roulette. It's holding Direct Charge at the moment. It's about a length.
Oh, it's running off the track. Come on, Marseille. Marseille Roulette! Get in the queue, mate. Look at that thing go. Oh. Yeah, no, it held on, but geez, it was all over the place. Bloody wobbling about like nothing else. Yeah, they're running all over the track. Yes.
And then Harry Hotspur followed further back in behind them, next over the line by Racing for Diamonds. Well back, Little Miss Chelsea, Snappy Diamonds.
Jeez, it's run out about.
Werewolf, and meticulously after a tough run finished a long way back with.
Oh, it's fallen in there for the win, but geez, I'll tell you what, it's just ran all over the place. Roulette. Okay, I'm not going to sing or do anything too crazy. It's supposed to be all serious. What Peter's saying there, he wants to nibble some nuts, or he's having his nuts nibbled. Sorry, did I just say that? I did not. I didn't. Oh, seriously, did not say that. I did not say that. Where's the halo gone? I'm sorry, the excitement's getting to my head. So, 2 races, 4 selections, $240 outlay, $1,228 in profit so far. Doesn't get any better than that. Oh, I'm sure it does. Some people get 4 games of lotto and win $30 million. Well, now we can do this reasonably often. I mean, today's a bit of a stonker. But January normally does throw days like this. It's always been my favourite, or one of my favourite months. Anything coming into the autumn carnival and all the way through the autumn carnival, and I've said that for many years, that spring's okay, I like it, but geez, you wait till you get into autumn carnival, you know, you sort of come through this time of year. I mean, most Bettortrader members know that to be true, and you know, that have been around for a while. Geez, autumn carnival, we can really throw them at us. Very exciting time. January last year, if you look at my results from January last year, I'd done that pretty much consistently for the whole of the first week, and had the biggest week that I've ever had on just a 10 and 50 outlay. So around about 500% on turnover. What did we get this time last year that was paying huge odds? I think it was about $80 or something. Was it Lockmar or something like that? And that might have been the year before. They all run into each other now for me. What's this thing called here? Little Miss Chelsea, is it? Yeah. Hey. Has to be. Spot on target, hey?
These two have been with the clerk of the course, and they're still the best part of 150 metres from the starting stills. Amazing. Have a look at it.
Get up, Mel.
Absolutely amazing.
He's him and Hilton Donaldson.
Well, no excuse if they don't jump out of the gates with them. Now here's Cross coming up into the gates.
My two favourite race calls, I have to say. Mark Sheen's pretty good, but Alan Thomas, you know, just it's about attitude and things. And Hilton Donaldson, same thing. And Hilton Donaldson, he's a reasonable sized punter as well. He's a keen punter, and Alan Thomas doesn't bet, apparently. Not into betting, but he's a good caller, and he's straight up. I really like that. But Hilton's funny. I love his calls.
It's there.
Quite a humorous fellow.
He's trying to find its position. Aldini's gone into the game.
Now, look,
well.
I am going to take number 3 spot on target.
There's Nakira. No hurry. About to go up towards the gates. Good to see Anthony Allen back in Brisbane. Had a stint in Sydney. Rode well there, rode successfully, and he's back in Brisbane. Will command plenty of riding, no doubt, with his claim. He's got 2 left, I think, isn't he, Anthony? Rides well. Now we're waiting for Vintage Moss and Fitness Fanatic to come up into the gates. Now, what's the vet? Is the vet having a look at one now? Now, Fitness Fanatic and Vintage Moss.
Yeah, well.
Their turns. They're going to vet one here. Shafiq, after all.
Okay, so I'm also going to take Fitness Fanatic. I hope to have an indication, a few $100 or more. It's not on the strong side, like a couple of other things we've seen today, but I am taking both of those runners, and with a reasonable amount of confidence in my own ability to spot the indications and separate the markets, and it's left me with 2 runners, 8 and 3 on them I am.
Now this horse has been...
Now we're on 4 o'clock, so we're due to knock off.
Shafiq, just stand by.
Obviously seeing how this race goes.
It's out, okay. 3:02. Thank you. No, after all that, it's out. So Shafiq is out.
I like scratching at Eagle Farm. Just quickly, there's a protest on at Rose Hill. Second against first.
Ooh.
It's Faweza against the winner Marseille.
Yeah, I thought so. I knew it. I thought it. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, geez, it ran off the track, so, and did push that other runner all over the place. So, and you know what? It was making good ground in the end too, that second place getter. It was taking ground off that lead, off that winner. I'd say he's got a good chance of having that that protest ruled in his favour, and it's the number 4 protesting against the number 7. Three and 8 for me at Eagle Farm, as I jumped on just previously. So I'm going to turn it up and we'll have a listen, and then we'll decide whether we're going to continue on or not.
High Cross, Pinro, Maroon Belton, Fitness Fanatic last of all. Coming down the side, Vintage Moss out about 4 deep and starts to scoot now. Going to the 800 metres, Mark and Aldini the leader, joined by Vintage Moss on the outside. 2 lengths away came Nakira. Imelda Mays racing 4th, and 3 lengths away came Spot on Target. And there followed by Frost. Fitness Fanatic going up deep on the track, and Spinray's back second last. Maroon Bells on the rail last of all. Vintage Moss outside of Aldini. They're testing each other as they come around the bend. They're 3 Imelda May, Nakira, followed by Frost. Then Fitness Fanatic, and now Spinray's pull to the outside. Vintage Moss went to the lead, 300 metres to go. Aldini's had enough, then Imelda May. Fitness Fanatic, Prost running home in the centre. Then Spinray down the outside. Vintage Moss the leader. Fitness Fanatic, Imelda May, and Prost trying to get through in the middle, but Vintage Moss still the leader. Fitness Fanatic's trying hard to get the Vintage Moss.
Hey.
Vintage Moss home again from Fitness Fanatic and Imelda May. Photo forth between Spinray and
$4.50 the place. Thank you.
The next time
sorry, voice got a bit high there. It was the squirrels, you see. It's the squirrels. Oh, we got another one. $4.50 for the place. That's fantastic. $1,333 in profit. Done a few accents today, haven't I? Longridge Street just helped lead us to $1,333 in profit. All right. Well, let's keep an eye on Flemington. We'll check out Flemington, and then I'll wrap things up. I think. Has everybody had a good day? I hope so. I hope you've all made money, and there's quite a few of you in the webinar that haven't had much to say in the chat. So I hope that you've been following along and made yourself a couple of dollars. For those who are still paper trading and things, your paper trading results for the day should still look great.
The run, Skyway the leader. Running the second is Beaufort trying to slot in. Flaxbill booted up in the centre though. So Beaufort will have to keep using a bit more juice to go and sit outside of Skyway now. Flaxbill Road third and fourth.
Somebody said to me, just before Christmas, who has been a punter for 40 years, and he looked at us for about 4 years before deciding to come on board, and he only did that because we've now offered a subscription. He said, I've got no problem with paying money. He says, I just, know how many shonks there are in the industry and all those sorts of things, and he's when we were first training for the first 6 months or so, he just couldn't get his head around, the outsiders that I'll jump on, and he just wouldn't do it, So he was always looking top half of the screen and things, and he said to me just before Christmas, he says, mate, he said, I've thrown the form guide out the window. He said, I just don't use it anymore, and there's no real need to. He said, there is absolutely no way that I would pick up on the sorts of value and make those selections and have the confidence to back at those odds without Bettortrader. So it certainly changes the whole way that that things are done for a lot of people that have had punting sort of experience. But once you get your head around it, geez, you'll very rarely go back to old ways. All right, now Bolton looks pretty good down the bottom here. There's no home tabbing indication on it yet at this stage. Montgomery is looking okay down there as well. It's got a few little sneaky hits. Going to have to sort of keep an eye on a couple of things down there. I'd say yes, yes, and yes. Thank you very much. 3 runners. So I'm on Montgomery, Lords of the Parrots, or Parrot or something, and Bolton. Spacecraft's another one in there that could sort of do something here too. It's, pretty good little indications that have come up late there again. I'm on 3 selections, and I'm just a little bit fearful of going that far wide. Oh, well, just about. Well, it's too late. It's jumped, is it? Oh, there you go. There you go. Sorry, I wasn't watching it. I didn't have it turned up either. But that was pretty late then, obviously. But we're on 3 runners there, and
then came under the head at the 1,200 metres, followed by Lucky 88 in the orange colours. Followed Chasm around him, one further back as Lord of Brazil, about 10 lengths away from leader. Generous speed here. Then came Chasse on the inside of Buxton, Wonder Bolton, another Prelate. Being followed wide to Universe, and at the end Montgomery on the inside of Lord of the Parrot. So it's Spacecraft in front. At the 800 metres, the new boy, well tried, gets a nice cart right behind his leader. 2 lengths to Reed Colossus, 2 lengths for House, no cover. They're being followed then by Lucky 88, under the hat Chasm. Behind these horses, Lord of Brazil, Chasse, worse in midfield, the rail. Buxton followed by Bolton, another Prelate. A long, long way back cornering, and then White Universe peeling from Lord of the Parrots and Montgomery. Spacecraft tackled by the new boy, and these two are about 6 lengths in front of under the hat Snow Cover. Brahar, and then came Lord of Brazil. So the new boy finds the leader, fairway up.
no good here, I'd say.
Under the hat Snow Cover coming home. Lord of Brazil, he's starting to wind up well. White Universe, the widest runner, but the new boy, 150 to go. He's 2 lengths in front of Lord of Brazil under the hat and Snow Cover. The new boy out on his feet. Lord of Brazil launches the big run down the outside. The new boy, I think he knows Lord of Brazil, but they're wide apart. And under the head will get third. Just off them is Chasse, another Prelate made ground. White Universe, Snow Cover. And back behind them then Buxted and Lucky.
Well, you know, I could have wound things up 12 minutes ago, right on 4 o'clock, and said, well, you know, we've had a cracker. Anyway, that, you know, next Flemington race was looking sort of decent enough, and no cigar for us there. So that's the way that it's going to end. Thank you all so much for your attendance today. As you can see, it has been a wonderful day, no matter which way you slice it, and I hope you've all followed along. Made sense of it, more importantly made dollars out of it. You know, some of you still in your early days and things. I do hope that when you do these webinars you just pull the trigger, and it's certainly been a cracker. Anybody got any questions or queries, concerns, anything? Then on that note, of course, I will bid you all farewell. Thanks to you all, and speak to you next week. Cheers.